Captain Sarah Chen had seen many horrors during her 15 years patrolling the Outer Rim territories, but nothing had prepared her for the scene in the Kepler 442 system's asteroid mining facility. The distress signal had been garbled, fragmentary, something about illegal trafficking and immediate assistance required. What she found when her ship docked was far worse than smuggled weapons or stolen cargo. In the facility's lower holds, cramped in cages barely large enough for their small bodies, were dozens of Zephyrian cubs. The fox-like creatures, no bigger than house cats, trembled with fear as their large, luminescent eyes reflected the harsh artificial lighting. Their silver fur was matted and dirty, and several bore the marks of shock prods. Sarah's hands clenched into fists as she realized what she was witnessing. The cubs had been separated from their families, destined for the exotic pet trade that plagued the galaxy's wealthy core worlds. The facility's overseer, a hulking Graxian named Vorthak, emerged from the shadows with 2 armed guards. His reptilian features twisted into what passed for a sneer among his species. "Human, you have no jurisdiction here. This is a legitimate business operation." Sarah's voice was steady, though her heart hammered against her ribs. "These are sentient beings. Zephyrian cubs can't be separated from their birth pods before they're 2 cycles old. This is kidnapping and trafficking." Vorthak's laugh was like grinding stone. "Humans and their emotions. These creatures will fetch excellent prices on Proxima Station. Walk away, Captain, and we'll forget you were here." Behind the overseer, Sarah could see more guards emerging, at least 8 heavily armed traffickers against her single sidearm. The smart play would be to retreat, call for backup, follow protocol. But as one of the cubs let out a pitiful whimper, something ancient and primal ignited in Sarah's chest. "Release them. Now." Her hand moved to her weapon. What happened next would be discussed in military academies across the galaxy for decades to come. Sarah Chen, a single human weighing perhaps 60 kilograms, faced down a force that should have overwhelmed her instantly. But she fought with something the traffickers had never encountered, the fury of someone protecting innocents who couldn't protect themselves. She moved like liquid lightning, her training and adrenaline combining into something transcendent. Her first shot took down Vorthak before he could draw his weapon. She rolled behind a cargo container as return fire scorched the air where she'd been standing. The facility's alarms blared, adding chaos to the already desperate situation. Using the maze of equipment and containers as cover, Sarah began a deadly game of hunter and hunted. But she wasn't just fighting for her life, she was fighting for dozens of terrified cubs who cried out each time weapons fire echoed through the chamber. That sound, that terror, drove her beyond her normal limits. One by one, she eliminated the guards with precision born of desperation. When her ammunition ran low, she used tools from the mining equipment as weapons. When a massive Krogjan cornered her near the cubs' cages, she fought with her bare hands, fueled by a rage so pure it seemed to burn in her veins. The alien went down hard, his skull cracking against the metal flooring. In the aftermath, as station security finally arrived to find 8 dead traffickers and 1 blood-covered human gently coaxing cubs from their cages, Sarah barely remembered the details of the fight. What she remembered was the moment the first cub had trustingly nuzzled against her palm, its fear giving way to hope. The incident report filed by Station Commander Yixtel would later become legendary. The human female eliminated 8 armed hostiles single-handedly to protect alien juveniles. Recommend immediate commendation and psychological evaluation, as this level of protective fury appears to be a previously undocumented human capability. Within weeks, the story had spread across the galaxy. The Zephyrian Council named Sarah an honorary packmother, the highest honor they could bestow. Other species began to whisper among themselves about human protective instincts, about the terrible beauty of their rage when innocents were threatened. Sarah herself never spoke much about that day. She simply returned to her patrol routes, carrying with her a small holographic picture. Dozens of silver-furred cubs playing safely in their home pod on Zephyr Prime, alive and free because sometimes, the galaxy needed someone willing to fight impossible odds for those who couldn't fight for themselves. The cubs were safe. That was all that mattered.